Thank you, Valentina. Very interesting. I will be the first one to to register to your hub, and I think that we have around 20 minutes for the session. If there are questions for the plenary session, will be welcome. Otherwise, if there aren't questions, I start with my first question for Luana. In order your very interesting project presentations, how do you think that your project, your competencies, these ideas can fit with the project of Skillman Teacher Academy, and how valuable connections can be possible to create? Thank you.
Thank you, Stefania. So there are different ideas. So first of all, I think the training that we have online can be linked also to the hub, for example. So it can be also, we can still expand it because we got also other requests, and we already contact with different industry associations that they want to ask to do the training for them. So maybe we can link and have maybe a cooperation with Skillman on this. So giving the training already there, but also maybe complementing the training with additional materials that can be also adapted to the Skillman Academy. And also, for the other project of standardization, we have a lot of courses that are already prepared, and we are also discussing the potential to create micro-credentials together with other universities in Berlin. You know, there is the Alliance University, Berlin Alliance Universities. So the idea is to maybe create micro-credentials, including different universities, so on the topics that we are developing. And maybe we can also expand this with international collaboration. We discussed already maybe with your university, could be an opportunity, but also with La Sapienza Roma, collaborate with them a lot. And so the idea is to also, our aim is to also increase more the training on quality infrastructure, because it's a term that is not well known yet, but it's very important to achieve sustainability goals. So standards are important, standards from, for example, not only from ISO, but also standards from national standardization bodies, including UNI or DIN in Germany, but also private standards. And this one is very important to be, first of all, written in an inclusive way, these standards, but also to be implemented in the right way. So when we talk about certification schemes that are used to implement a standard, they need to be really created in a good way. The governance should be a robust governance. They should be including different stakeholders, but they also need to have like the conformity assessment process well done. Because if we don't ensure sustainability in a good way, we are not moving forward. So we need to really be on top of this and make sure that we are really tracking sustainability achievements, and so in order not to make mistakes as we did in the past. So I think that it's very important once we get this knowledge to really disseminate through other teaching programs, not only to students in med school, for example, but it's also very important to companies themselves, because of course the companies, they can have programs also for them, for the company, in company, because they need really to understand how to implement this standards. So I would say that there are different ways to collaborate on this, and also to expand, like as I said before, what quality infrastructure is, how to use it. They also work a lot at the UNIT'L level about quality infrastructure. For example, we collaborate with them a lot. Also in other countries, for example, in Latin America, we did different workshops together, and also with Africa. So I think we're also open to collaborate in an international way. Thank you.
Thank you a lot. A question for Urs?
You have 10 minutes.
Okay. 5 minutes.
I have something.
4 minutes.
Please.
Yes, I also one question for you that is very the digital page micro-credential pushed through the standardization, and so we have a risk and opportunity in the balancing between standardization and localization and personalization. So something from you on this topic.
Yes, many thanks. My statement is going in the same direction. I want to give you an example. The Liverpool Hope University has seen from the business school side and as well then from the other faculties what Skillman has developed with this digital qualification framework. And I was 3 or 4 weeks ago in a webinar from UK universities, and I mean really UK, that means Wales, Scotland, Ireland, England, from all fields, organized by the Quality Assurance Agency of UK. That means by the authority for accreditation and looking to quality standards for the future and for the actual situation. And these many universities who presented have showed their actual status with micro-credential evaluation and digital badges. And I thought, I was only a participant, and I thought really we are at Skillman miles ahead already. They are looking for solutions, don't know how, are giving their actual situation, but I think all of them are behind. And I said that to Giovanni, and therefore the Liverpool Hope University is inviting him to train the staff at Liverpool Hope University. He is welcomed, he knows that. And we want to do micro-credential evaluation and digital badges at the university for the future with the platform of Skillman. And this platform is giving a solution, for instance, I give an example, a blockchain solution to store these credits in a blockchain, in a European blockchain register and platform. I don't know another university who is doing that. And I know they are just at the start. But Skillman, Giovanni, this was more than a hobby from him starting, and then he has developed and derived a strong expertise in this. And therefore I really has to say, we are with this on a status where we can overtake and where we will need our micro-credential evaluations. Because micro-credential evaluation, digital badges, are the pathway for executive education in the future or now, for mature learners who needs to have their credits and their up and reskilling. And I only can say, before you are starting like others at beginning, at zero, Skillman has developed that over years and has now a ready-go solution for participants, for companies, for universities, academies in the whole world, and with a very safe situation, because Skillman said, we want to have these digital badges and micro-credential evaluations in the hand of the participants. It is important that these are not going to the market and others want to misuse these badges and these developments. And therefore we looked over months in the development with the European blockchain register and got then a solution, and we can now guarantee that this is the case. So that is that what I would say, and that is that what we need to say about the standards. Yes, we are standardized. Yes, we are internationally connected to the market leaders in these fields and to vocational education training fields, to other fields of providers, and therefore I think we are ready to go.
There's a question over there.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll shout, I've got a teacher's voice from the past. You know, thank you very much indeed. That's really powerful stuff, and it's very encouraging. Oh, is it? Very powerful stuff, lovely to see. In Liverpool, you know, lunch is your dinner and dinner's your tea. Words mean different things, don't they, here? So for me, mobility, I see what you do in the social mobility, wonderful. Is there a space to do something with the Skillman in this way? Mobility for mobility, because mobility to me is the physical access for a blind person. It is the white cane training, and you wouldn't believe hardly any country in the world does that. So there's a double-edged sword here. If we do, and I get your digital badges, and inclusion in technology is really important, but in a way it can promote isolation. Visually impaired young people have on average 5 to 6 less friends. So if you do too much digital tech, they become more isolated, which leads rapidly to mental health. So what we need is that mobility, your white cane, for inclusion to get to those courses, both physically and remotely. I think that's a beautiful piece of work we could do together. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Let's do it.
I think Valentina can help.
It's a wonderful initiative. It's a wonderful invitation. Let's do that. I understand what you mean. I understand the analogy of mobility and mobility. We're talking about physical mobility, like moving around. Yeah. I understand that, and why not? Let's talk about it. Thank you.
We're on.
Sorry. I just wanted to add something.
I give you an example. We all are still suffering under Brexit, and therefore Horizon is allowed, digital not allowed yet, Erasmus not allowed yet, mobility is Erasmus. That means at the moment the UK government is not yet allowing the finance of mobility from our side because we are outside Europe. But I give you an example why it's possible. Stefania Gaponia was coming under Erasmus scheme mobility to Liverpool Hope University last year for 1 week. And everything was paid by the European Union. And she has visited our staff, our researchers, and to follow up, the impact was that she has created a project, a Horizon project, empowering mental health for youth, and we were at Liverpool Hope a key partner in it. So it has given a possible impact for us.
Well, a quick possibility, there's the RNIB, the Royal National Institute for the Blind. Its equivalent in the Republic of Ireland is Vision Ireland. Aren't they in the European Union? Right. Liverpool Hope University, of course, takes enormous numbers of students from the Republic. What about a little project there with Vision Ireland?
What Urs says, it's very true, but also after Brexit, you have other funding programs. So it's not Erasmus, but you have alternative solutions. So.
One very short question for Valentina. Considering the topic, the issue related to the inclusion, the equity, in your observatory, there are elements to. Do you have a vision in order to the gender gap, for example, and mobility, or a possibility to support people with disability for mobility?
Absolutely. I'm so happy that we sparked this conversation because that's what my objective was with the presentation, not just to give a presentation, but an invitation, you know. So yeah, inclusion is part of it's obviously one big principle within this. So that's why I think it's interesting if we continue this conversation afterwards. I have just an example in mind because it really happened. It happened last year. It's just one small example. It's not about sight impaired people, but vision impaired people, but it was about a girl, a Dutch student. She wanted to do an internship experience abroad, but she was a single mother. So she had a child with her, and it was really difficult for her. She didn't have the financial resources to do an internship abroad. And she asked us for help, and we managed to find a work placement for her to accommodate her and her son, a 3-year-old son. And we also found a nursery for the son, so she she had the opportunity to come to Italy, to Florence, to do her internship. And during the day, while she was working in the company, her son was at a local nursery. And so we were very glad and proud that we could manage to do this mobility. She was over the moon, she was very happy, and when she got back, she had the certificate for the mobility. So yeah, that's just an example.
I have the microphone if someone wants to.
Yeah, there are questions from the plenary, please feel free to ask to our speakers.
Okay, can I make a comment because there are no candidates on that.
Okay.
So just to go one step back. This experience of Valentina was started in Italy. She talked about the Skillman Secretariat transition to creating this international hub for mobility. We started in Italy, this was my experience, with blind people training, but then with inclusion, mobility for inclusion. We also started to work, I think in the beginning of 2000, was 25 years ago, maybe, yes, or something like that. We started to work with people with special needs, with the groups with special needs, students. And then we have also collaborated with, there were a program called UNGA in Sweden by the Ministry of Labor. We have tested a model of mobility for special needs students. At that time with the Swedish government was the learner with social inclusion, other issues to become able then to re-enter in a normal life with study or work. And then we created a model, and then on this model we have involved also German Ministry of Education, and also with Spain. We worked very much with the Basque country. And then this model was adopted to invest the European Social Fund with an agreement among 14 European countries, because at that time ESF was not able to be used for mobility. So they did an internal agreement, and then they started by using this model, this experience of mobility for inclusion, to make it effectively across 14 countries in Europe. This was maybe 15, 20 years ago. And then we also hosted people with other kind of characteristics, deaf, for example, we had, and also for work placements and so on. And I think that all this is going in this hub, the attention to make this kind of mobility, which is not the normal student mobility, but is mobility for students with special needs. And I think that this is very effective manner to make people to benefit from education. Because the advantage that these learners, I have seen in person this, the advantage that they take when they realize that they can do that is already considered difficult for what they say normal guys. They say, hey, I'm here and you leave me alone in the company. Yes, you can stay. There is a tutor, you can stay with the tutor. Because usually they are not considered at the level to stay alone in a company. And then when you go back to, I have this image in mind, because this was two young guys from Spain that we brought to the company, and then they were scared to stay in the company alone, okay? When we came back, these two guys, female and male, they were jumping to us because they were extra happy, and they were really jumping, and I have this in mind, the jump of the success. So they were so happy, and then they totally changed their lives. Another time with the Swedish student, she was not able to resist longer than 10 seconds in a stressful situation, like to select the kind of pizza in the menu. She was starting to cry. And then she had this experience of 3 weeks in this specific model of intervention that we designed. When she went back, she was able to speak in public, and she was invited by a teacher association in a radio show to make her history available for anyone. And then she went back to school, and she had a normal life. So this was exactly the experience that we are putting in this hub. Thank you.
Thank you, Giovanni. We are on time, but just two considerations to close, because it's very beautiful, this testimony, because from a sociological point of view, we say that the real poverty is not economic, but a relationship. So the opportunity to create a so important, strong experience for any kind of people that we can define normal or not is the important, not simple for the skills, technical skills, credentials or certificate that we can put in our portfolio, but first of all for the personal friendship relationship that change our life, our vision, our experience, and deeply also the imagine that we have of ourselves. And I think that this is the very important and the first success of this experience. Thank you for this. And for conclusion, I just probably would like to outline that the Skillman Teacher Academy represent strategically significant initiatives at the intersection of digital innovation, digital technologies, teacher education, and European collaborations. And I think that this is a very important point to stay, to take, and to for participations. And I think also that open important spaces and field for research to call also academic universities to also take its role in the Skillman. You know that my dream is to participate in the Skillman Higher Education Alliances for the next call. And so thank you a lot to our speakers for your sharing generous knowledge, and for Giovanni and for all of you, and continues to our wonderful conference.
We have a small break now.
Small break now, yes.